Take the 405. Oh my god, don't take the 101. Ugh. You'll never get there in time.
Yo, you sound like a Kardashian. That's
Thank
really how
you.
they sound.
Welcome to Maker's Hustle, a podcast about turning your passion into a profession. This is episode 23 for Monday, December 19th, 2016. I'm your host, Bill Lavolsi, and here are my co-hosts, Amy Davis-Roth. Hi, Amy.
Not yet, Bill.
Oh, and Jeffrey Moore. Hey, Jeff.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Hey. It's the
We
holidays.
can make that joke. It's legal now.
Yeah, if you didn't quite catch that one, marijuana is legal in California now.
Yeah.
And I promised these guys that I would never get high before an episode.
It is a
So
sacrifice we appreciate.
It's the inside joke now is whenever Bill says hi to me, I say not yet.
Not yet.
Well, next week I'm going to have to say hello. I want to take a moment to thank everyone on Patreon, but especially our top supporters, Luis Gonzalez and Ryan Ohoro, plus new supporters Lindsay Allen and Humus Workshop. Thank you all so much.
Welcome
Ooh,
to the
another
family.
lady! Another lady! Here's to the ladies in the house. Thank you for supporting us.
Yeah,
We
your
need
support means a
more.
lot. It allows us to do things like make the show
Yes.
and give away cool stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna give
Which-
away stuff. It's like the holidays. Is this?
Yeah.
Do we have another episode before the official holiday day?
No,
Which
this
is-
is the last one to come out before Christmas, I
This
think.
is okay. Well, happy holidays, everybody. We're gonna give away some fun stuff, right?
We're going to give away all kinds of stuff, and we're going to do it right now.
Oh
Right
my
now.
gosh!
Not now,
Right now.
but right now. Let's do
No,
it.
So
not now,
excited.
but right now. Who wants to go first with the giving away stuff? I think we're all giving away stuff, aren't we?
I'll give away an art print.
Okay, give away an art print.
Yeah,
Give away a robot keychain.
Do you want me to just pull a name?
yeah. I want. So okay, wait. We gotta explain this for people that are just listening and cannot see you. Bill has created a box, a wooden box. He actually made it himself. Super cool.
Black walnut.
It's made out of wood. Shocker. And inside that box, he has written the names of every single patron that we have, and then crumpled it up into he
And a
just
bunch
spilled.
just
Dropped a
fell
whole
out.
bunch of them.
He just spilled names out of the box, but they're all crumpled up into little balls that he's put, and he's now putting back in the wood box. He's now shaking the box, and he's going to reach in, and the first name that he pulls out is going to win one of my signed art prints.
All right, here we go. I got one. Who's this? And the winner of the signed art print is Elaine Go.
Hey!
Aww!
Wow.
No joke. There it is.
Wow.
Tell Elaine, hey Elaine, send me a message. Like, what do you want? I'll let
Yeah.
you pick. You can
Wow.
pick
That
one
is
of
so
my art
cool.
prints.
So,
That
Elaine, you're
is-
going to get a signed art print, so get in touch, and Amy will set that up.
Yeah, I need your address, and I need you to know what you like.
Yeah.
So get in touch. Cool.
Yeah. I'm going to set that name aside, and what is the next thing that we are giving away?
Keychain.
Keychain. Jeff's going to give away a keychain. All right. So. And we're shaking, and here's the next one. And the next winner is Aaron Lund.
Yes.
Happy holidays.
Funny because I had to make sure that it wasn't Ian McKay.
Happy holidays.
I forgot to send him the last one.
Yeah.
I had
Oh
to.
my god.
I just remembered when I said robot keychain. So
Oh, you're
Aaron
kidding.
and Ian, they're on their way. I promise this time I'm not going to let Bill let me forget.
Okay, the moral of the story is you want to win something from me because you know you'll get it.
That's true.
Yes.
Well, you'll get it from Jeff. It's just we might be on episode 248
Yeah.
by the time you do. All right.
days are long.
I am going to give away an original Maker's Hustle t-shirt.
Get out of here.
Yeah, there are two sets of t-shirts, okay? There's the shirts that Amy sells on her Redbubble site, and then there are shirts that I had made for us when we were going to meet up at Maker Faire. And right now there are only 3 of them in the world.
Yeah.
You're going
That's
to win the
exclusive,
4th.
baby.
I like
Yeah.
your shirts better than the ones in my Redbubble shop. I want to redo my Redbubble shop ones.
Okay. Well,
But-
actually, I still have the files. I can just send them over.
Yeah, send it, because I like yours better. I wore mine today you gave me during
cool.
my awesome workout.
Shirt buddies.
Yeah.
All right, here comes for the winner of the shirt.
That's a beautiful box, by the way. I kind of
Thank
want
you.
one. I don't have
The
enough
nice thing
wood in
is the
here.
camera hides all the flaws. I should mention, because I'm about to say this name, but I put everybody's name back in the box for the pen drawing. And then I forgot to take the names out again, so I'm just going to set that one aside because he already won something.
Oh, so we're doing
Statistically,
multiple
that's
drawings.
not fair. No, I guess
Well,
it is fair if you take it
The
out.
deal
Okay.
is, for the 3 things that we gave away an art print,
That's
we gave
regular.
away a keychain, we're giving away a t-shirt. If you already won something, you're not in the drawing for those. But for the pen, everybody's in for the pen.
Everybody's in for the pen because the pen is awesome.
Yeah. The shirt, the winner of the shirt is Cactus Workshop.
Ooh.
All right, all right.
Congratulations.
Every single time, every time I give something away, I have to ship it international. Every time.
Aw. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, the Maker's Hustle shirt is going to Spain.
Oh.
Woohoo! All right, so now
Little sponsorship overseas, huh?
Yeah.
I am now going to take the ones that I pulled out and crumple them back up and put them back in.
All right.
Okay.
And then we're going to shake it up real good.
This
and
is
we're going to see
exciting.
who wins the Maker's Hustle pen.
Which is green and beautiful and amazing and just really, really
We'll
awesome.
have jealousy-inducing pictures in the show notes.
Yeah.
Or you can see the entire show on YouTube if that's your thing.
It was made by Pat Lapp, correct?
Yep.
All
Pat
right.
Lapp made it in his closet.
Wait, what?
Okay. Half the time, Pat works out of his grandparents' basement because they have his grandfather has a full shop set up down there.
Okay.
But the rest of the time, his grandfather's like 2 hours away. So the rest of the time, he has a tiny little lathe set up in his closet where the water heater is. So he like scrunches in there and can make small things.
Oh,
Yes, that is how devoted he is to making stuff.
I
He
love that.
squishes into a tiny little closet and like sets off the smoke alarms if his tools aren't sharp enough and all kinds of fun stuff like that. So without further ado, the winner of the pen, the Maker's Hustle pen, and now my fingers get clumsy. This is drama.
Is it me? Did I win it?
No, the winner is David Bellhorn.
All right. New name.
David.
New name.
You
Yeah.
You
Congratulations,
are a
David.
lucky mofo.
Yeah.
That's
And
not
now-
a swear word.
No, I know. I didn't see that coming.
So, as a surprise, there are actually 2 more people who won pens today. And their names are Amy Davis Roth and Jeffrey Moore.
Oh my
Congratulations,
God,
guys.
it's Christmas!
That is so
Yeah.
cool. That is so cool.
Yeah, when Pat made the pen, I had to make a few more, and so I'm going to send them to you.
That is
Thank
the
you for doing the show with
best.
me. This is awesome.
Oh,
Thank
Merry
you,
Christmas.
Pat. Thank
Happy
If you
Holidays.
would like to be,
Happy
if you would
Hanukkah.
like to be a part of this love fest, you can support the show at patreon.com/makershustle. How's that for a transition? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
We'll
Yeah.
keep giving stuff away. I love giving stuff away. It makes
Yeah,
me
it's
feel
fun.
like, I don't know, like an elf. A little Christmas elf.
Well, now that we've given away everything that we have and we're destitute for now, what's everybody working on this week?
Oh my gosh. So for me, I'm in the best mood today because the holidays are basically over for me. So I'm like on vacation. I feel like I'm on vacation. Like for the first day today, I mean, I've got like 3 custom orders that I'm working on, but the people don't need them until after the holidays, so it's no rush. So I've like completed everything that I need to get done. I've shipped out all my orders. Like I'm still shipping cool stuff, you know, with priority mail, right? I couldn't think of what it was called. So if people still needed stuff, it's like going out in the mail, but it's really like slowed down for me now. So I'm already thinking like, what am I going to design for Valentine's Day and stuff like that? So I get to take like the next week off sort of and just relax with my dogs and my husband and like have fun. So I'm
that's
having a
cool.
great time. And I'm doing a bunch of drawings. Of course, I'm still really, 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 really upset about what's happening politically. And I'm doing a bunch of cool political art on my Patreon, so check that out if you have a chance. Patreon.com/surly-amy. Lots of cool political/science type stuff because science has been politicized, so I'm still doing that and happy as can be right now in terms of like having time off.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
All right.
I'm happy.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
Well, this week was kind of a dead week for me. Actually, this past weekend I was in a wedding, and so I went back to Buffalo. I was in my cousin's wedding. So Saturday I was doing that. Well, Friday I was setting up. Saturday was the wedding. And then Sunday, my wife and I did a photo shoot for our wedding pictures, for our save the date invitations. So that was on Sunday. And then after that, I was like, yeah, I don't want to do anything. I had to do a workshop for some kids on Tuesday. That was Tuesday. And that was kind of cool. Met with a bunch of little kids, and the kids are like, oh, I want to build robots. Ah. So, you know, it was a very slow week for me. I didn't do too much of anything interesting other than the wedding.
I had some kids come over to my art studio this week, actually.
Okay.
I forgot. We had one of our crafting meetups that we have for my women's group, but we opened it up to like everyone. So whoever wanted to come by, because it's the last one of the year. And we had all kinds of Christmas cookies, and a bunch of kids came over, and we taught them how to make surly-ramics. And so they made their own little necklaces, and so I'm going to fire them for them. That was really fun.
That's really cool.
I actually like kids more than I like adults.
I'm scared of kids.
You are? I love kids, man.
Like, they terrify me at first, but lately there's been more kids coming over, because at my age, all of my friends have kids that are like at that age where they can learn stuff in the art studio. So I have a lot of my friends like, can I bring the kids over to the art studio? And I'm like, sure. And so I've kind of gotten over that fear lately. And yeah, you're right. It's really awesome to teach those kids how to make stuff, because they just absorb it, and it's amazing to watch, and it's sort of inspirational. So I get the teaching bug now. I understand it.
I've given up on adults. I no longer. I feel like the kids are the way to go. So now I focus all my attention on kids, different groups of kids, and just teaching them, because, you know, once you get to be a little older, you don't feel inspired. Like, it's.
I'm inspired, and I'm the oldest one here.
Yes,
like, I'm
but
always inspired.
I mean the average person, like not us, obviously, because we create things for a living. But
that's a little snobby.
Hey, it is what it is, man.
Not us.
It is what it is. There's a lot of people out there that are in the matrix, man. But,
it's rough right now, like politically and just socially. Like, everybody's in a funk, and it's totally okay to sort of hate the world right now. I think a little bit. It's like sort of self-care that you need to do. It's okay to be upset. I think a lot of people in the United States particularly are going through like this sort of feeling of impending doom, because we don't know what's going to happen politically and economically and all that. So it's okay to feel that way. But remember, there are good people out there, Jeff, that are adults.
No, you're absolutely right.
And they want to learn stuff. And they're listening to us right now, probably.
Right.
And
you know what I think
about?
I look at it like this. I'm not too concerned about the next 4 years. I'm thinking about the next 40 years. And
well, the next 4 years are going to have a serious impact on the next 40 years if we decide not to do things like care about climate change and stuff like that.
Oh, well, we won't make it 40 years. But what I'm saying is, what I want to do is I want to change the world. All right. I want to change the world. And the people who are going to change the world are going to be the people who are younger right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true.
I think the younger generation has the answers. They're going to be different, and I want to get them as young, because if you wait too long on them, it's sad, because I have kids of different age groups, right? And Bill, we're going to let you talk about what you did this week in 2 seconds. Forgot about you. But so I have kids who are 19, 20, 21, 22 years old. And literally, they're thinking exactly the same way as somebody who's 30, somebody who's 40. Either they're misinformed, they're uninformed, or they don't want to be informed. Right? So I'm trying to catch them even younger. I'm trying to get them at like 10, 12, where their brains are still open and they're still trying to, you know, and somebody else could take care of the adults. I just don't have the patience. I don't have the patience for it.
It's hard.
All right,
it's hard to change minds and hearts.
Yes.
So, okay, Bill, you can talk now about what you did this week.
Hang on. Okay. What's up?
Are you taking screen caps with your phone again?
No, I was checking my Facebook because you guys didn't need me.
He's like doing selfies and shit with his phone.
No, all right, I'm done being a jerk now. Okay, so let's see. This week, some moron
Jeff,
decided...
tell me more about what's been up with your week. I'm kidding.
The thing that I've learned about Amy over the last 23 episodes of this show is if there is a button, she cannot resist pushing it. She just can't help herself. If she knows that something will annoy you, she'll just do it, just to see
Ding,
you
ding, ding, ding,
get
ding,
annoyed.
ding.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
So that's fine. I'll just get her
Blink,
back one day.
Blink, 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 blink.
She won't be expecting it. So, right, this is what I've been doing this week. Some idiot thought it would be a good idea to decide to make videos once a week instead of whenever. I don't know who that was, but it was a really bad idea.
Who's that guy?
It was me. I'm the idiot.
Why?
So-
Why? Why is that bad? Was it too much?
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But then
Okay.
again, producing a podcast every week is a lot of work.
A lot of work,
Like,
too, yeah.
I almost dropped the ball this week. I only got it published like 2 hours before it was supposed to go up anyway.
Oh.
So, yeah, I actually apologize to our patrons because normally they get it like Friday, and they got it Sunday night / Monday morning, depending on where they were. But I decided to make videos weekly, and last week I was so on top of things that I actually got 2 videos out. I did like a year in review thing, and then I made a pen.
You shouldn't have published them both. You should have saved one as a backup so that you
I
had...
am not a patient man. I'm
yeah,
not.
but you have to learn to do that. Like, you... Yeah.
Well,
That
the
will
other- the
save
other-
you because you never know what could happen. Like, you could get sick.
You could get struck
Yeah.
by lightning.
There could be an earthquake. There could be
The
a
other
bomb.
reason okay. The other
there
reason
could
I
be,
published
like, insects could attack. Like, a beehive could explode.
exploding beehives.
That
It's
is.
happened.
She said
You can
insects attack. I
weaponize
thought giant spiders.
Spiders are not
spiders
insects.
could dive from the sky and land
Spiders
on your
aren't
house.
insects.
No,
And
they're
then
arachnids.
You can't make a video, but if you have 2 that you've made, you should always have
Google's gonna answer
one. Like,
this.
give yourself some cushion.
You know, if you two can stop talking long enough, I can explain why I published them both. I published the first one because if I waited this long, it would not be timely anymore because my whole, like, it's been 1 year thing will be over. And I promised not just that I would publish a video every week, but that it would be a project video, as in I have to make something. Recutting my old videos to showcase all the stuff that I did doesn't count. So I didn't want to
Alright.
let myself off the hook. So I also made a pen. But I don't have a lathe, so I did it on a drill press and put the video together. I'm actually really happy with the video. I think it went really well. And everybody else seems to
Good.
think so. I left all my mistakes in, and everybody
Yeah.
thinks they're hilarious. So
Yeah.
go check that out, because I
Mistakes
managed
are
to mess
good.
it up like 5 or 6 times. It was good stuff.
I feel really chatty today. I don't know why.
I noticed. Usually when it's my turn.
I had no idea that arachnids are a separate group. I thought that arachnids were a group inside of insects.
Nope.
But only insects have 6 legs. Very interesting. Learn something new every day.
They also, insects, I believe, have, there's a difference in the number of, like, body segments. Like, arachnids only
2.
have 2.
Yeah, 2 and 3.
Yeah. So
Wow.
there you go. Middle school science. Woohoo!
See, miseducation, boy. I tell you.
Yeah, love it. All right, so here's what we're talking about this week. We are talking about sponsorships. Now, originally we were going to have a guest on this week, but the schedule just didn't work out, so we're going to have a guest next week instead. And that's fine. That's cool. But one of the other things that I did this week that I didn't really talk about is I arranged sponsorships for some other makers who create content on YouTube. And so a company, I went to their representative and I talked things over with them, and they want to sponsor videos. So not only are they going to give like product placement, like here's a tool that we want you to use, but when you use that tool in a video, we will pay you money. So I got this set up for actually 5 or 6 different people. And I got the first paid sponsor for my channel as well. So that's how this topic came up. But it's interesting because we've all dealt with sponsorship in different ways, either on the receiving end or on the giving side of
Giving end,
things.
yeah.
So we're going to kind of talk a little bit about that.
All right. Are we talking about our experience? Are we talking about... I should have asked this question earlier. Are we talking about what are some best practices to get sponsors, or are we talking a little bit about both? And I think
we're
they need to
talking
be both.
I think it needs to be both. And
Okay.
one of the
Yeah.
reasons I think it does need to be both is because a lot of people are they're either mystified by the idea of obtaining sponsors, or they're worried about what's going to happen when they are no longer the only person in control of their content.
I didn't even think about
Because
that. That just
a lot of the times, if a
That's something that I
sponsor
wouldn't even think.
agrees to give you money or product or whatever, they
They
will
get
have
the final
conditions attached
word.
to that. Yeah.
Yeah. They'll want to see how it's represented.
Right.
That happens a lot in the entertainment industry, which I'm sort of familiar with because my husband is an editor and I've done a lot of extra work back when I was poor and I wanted to make money. So I've seen a lot of how that goes down in set design and the product. Like, let's say it's a Coca-Cola can, or, I mean, it could be whatever. It could be the sparkling ice beverage that I have here. Like, they will want the logo to be directly facing the camera and in focus and have clear shots of it. And they may have requirements that it needs to be shown so many times throughout the video in order to comply with whatever their sponsorship agreement is. Is that the experience that you're sort of having with this, Bill?
I'm not having that experience because I am very protective of my clients. I've been kind of acting like an agent for a group of, basically because I'm trying to get this side business off the ground, I'm picking makers who make videos that I know I can, for lack of a better word, sell. You know, they make like really, really great content, okay? Like their editing is top notch, their style is dialed in, and I'm finding sponsors who appreciate that and want to work with that, because you will also find sponsors who, like, if your videos are, you never appear on camera and you don't do any talking, they will want you to point the camera at yourself and talk about their product for 45 seconds. And it's like, okay, because that's not going to feel forced at all.
Yeah, that's like a commercial.
Yeah, and as soon as that happens, that's when I go, you know what? Maybe this isn't a good fit.
That's
So
the kind of sponsorship deal that you would get for a podcast, and that's what we need, if anyone is listening, is you do like a little commercial, and it runs in the middle of our podcast or
like
something.
we stop.
Yeah.
We stop.
And now a
and
word
do-
from our sponsor.
And then we
Info at
read the paper.
makershustlepodcast.com.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so that kind of thing. But some people want that in a video, and some people have done very well with that kind of sponsorship, because that type of thing usually pays more than like a product placement. Because it's more obtrusive. It's more, it gets in the way of the actual video. So in order to do
It
that
forces
and to
you
put
to see it.
right, in order to put your face and your voice behind a product, you would charge more than you would to just have something in your environment.
Right. But that's a cool sponsorship, because if you're a maker and if it is some sort of a tool thing, then, I mean, that's a really great bonus. When I was growing up, it was always people getting sponsored by like skateboard companies and surfboard companies and stuff like that. And it's like super cool to get free product that you already love to use in your video. So I think that's really great
Yeah.
if it works out for people. I don't know.
No, it is.
I don't know
It's
what the
very
deals
cool.
are, but yeah.
Well, the thing is, the free product thing, once you hit a certain size of YouTube channel, you will start getting approached for free product. It'll happen. So what you start doing is you start having to be more selective, because, you know, you can't pay the rent with free stuff.
Right.
So what'll happen is somebody will say, hey, if we send you this, can you use it in your video? And you'll go, well, for every time I use it in the video, if it's actually visible, that's going to cost a certain amount of money. Now, I was lucky enough to find a sponsor who already knows that this provides value to their brand. So they're saying, we want this to appear in the video. We don't want you to disrupt the flow of the video or talk. Like, if you normally talk in your videos, feel free to mention, I got it from this place. But you don't have to, like, flash an ad or anything. You don't have to give a testimonial to the camera or any of that. Just put it in your video and make your video the way you normally would. And for
That's
that,
cool.
there's money.
That's really cool.
I know.
I
It's
prefer
actually...
those types.
Oh, no, it's
Not that
fantastic.
I've had any of those, but yeah.
Well, there are a growing number of people who understand how, especially in the maker world, like the workshop, woodworking, metalworking world, there are a growing number of companies who understand that that's kind of a better way to do things than forcing someone to, you know, reiterate a list of like marketing bullet points about how great your drill is or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's going to believe that.
Yeah. Whereas
Like,
if it's
everyone's
just
so
used organically,
critical.
then
Yeah. If you just see it and you see it being used well and you see a good product being created with whatever it is, it's great advertising, really.
yeah. So, but what this experience taught me is don't just say yes to the first thing that comes along.
Okay.
Because there are going to be first of all, know what all the conditions are before you say yes.
yeah.
Okay, and if you can afford it, have a lawyer look over the thing that you're signing before you sign it. That's always a
Yeah.
good thing. Now, I can't afford a lawyer, so I just read it very, very carefully, but always at least read it.
Yeah.
And don't say yes to the first thing that comes along. I mean, it's possible that the first person who contacts you, it's actually going to be a bad deal. Even if they're giving you free stuff, if they also want you to talk about how great the free stuff is, and if it breaks, you can't tell anyone, and if you don't like something, you can't say anything. There are companies out there who will say, you can have this, but you need to give us a positive review. And that's dirty.
Yeah, that happens on Amazon a lot.
Yeah, I've never had. See, it's different. I think this is a different type of sponsorships that I haven't thought about. But the more you talk about it, I'm like, goodness, man, they really dictate a lot more than the type of sponsorships I'm used to. Mm-hmm. Like for our sweat series, Gatorade is just like, yo, just put Gatorade on the marketing material. You look at any type of marketing material, you have a little logo. You say, put Gatorade in the credits, and you're good to go. Like a couple of flashes here and there, and that's all they want. It's very low maintenance.
A lot of the big companies like that, they're so well recognized by their logo alone that type of marketing is very effective for them. It may not be as effective for a smaller company who may be more demanding because they're trying to build sort of a reputation. But if you just see the Gatorade logo, or you see Coca-Cola's logo, or you see Lexus, or you see whatever the heck, somebody that's really popular, it's very recognizable. Yeah. And that alone, subconsciously, you're sort of associating that product with something positive that you like, and so that's positive for the brand. So the bigger companies usually, I would assume, are a lot more lax, but they probably have contracts.
So let me ask you a question. Theoretically, right, Bill, you just said don't accept the first thing that comes your way, right? Right. Now, are you saying that because don't accept the first thing if it says, like, you have to do this, and if it breaks, you have to say it's a good product? Or, excuse me, are you saying that we shouldn't accept anything, whether it's a good deal or a bad deal? We shouldn't accept the first thing. No, I'm saying don't
accept it just because it's put in front of you.
Okay.
Because everybody has that moment of, oh my goodness, they actually want to, I made it. Like, I made it. I'm getting a sponsor. Mm-hmm. And there's that kind of euphoria, and that might kind of make you not realize that it's not such a great deal after all, because then you'll end up signing something. There are a lot of deals out there, and this still happens, but there are deals out there that say you can't use any of their competitors' products. Mm-hmm. You have to be exclusively sponsored by them for a certain amount of time. Yeah. And the problem with that, or that they own the content, that's also an issue.
Yeah, those are things that I would stay away from those things. But I think whether it's a big sponsor or a small sponsor, that first sponsor is huge because, and obviously if it's one of those things where they steal the credit or they steal your content, then that's a no good. But, something small, if you can somehow find a way to get a small time period where you're only sponsored for a brief period of time, I think that's huge, because what that does is it opens the door. It lets people know. You know how what is that syndrome where people follow other people?
Social proof.
Is that what it's called? I don't think.
Have you heard of it? Like, one of the things that they tell you, in fact, when you're like setting up a Patreon or a new website or whatever, is spread it around to a small group of people first and get some people on board before you make it completely public. Mm-hmm. Because if you go to a page and there's nobody there,
I was thinking group
you
thing.
think
That's
it's because
what I was
it's terrible.
I was thinking a group thing, but I know what you're talking about. You're absolutely right. But I'm saying like group thing, in which we're both right. It's the same concept.
It's
but,
the same concept.
Just by us saying, like, even if we were to fake, and I'm not saying that we're going to fake a sponsorship, but even if we were to get a small sponsorship where we were only getting like $10 a day, right? Nobody has to know what that sponsorship deal is worth, but by us during our podcast or however we decide to do
credibility.
It. Exactly. Yeah. So, whatever the deal is, obviously if it's taking your lifeblood, don't do it. If it's like a vampire deal, don't touch it. But, a small deal that might say you can only
I'm
work
literally
with us for
holding a surly-ramic that's got garlic drawn on it. So to keep the vampire.
We're going to have to keep those around our necks as we do these podcasts. But, I think that once you get something in front of you, if it doesn't vampire suck the blood out of you, I think that's something that you should seriously consider going with, because it only takes one person to feel comfortable with doing that with you. And then as long as you continue to be consistent, it opens the door for more people. And obviously the more things you have coming, the easier it's just going to be to get more and more things like that. But getting over that first hump is always the hardest.
Well, I agree. That is the hardest part. But I would encourage people, if you are approached by a sponsor and there is anything in that contract that you don't like, see if you can get it taken out. What we said last week, or was it the week before? It was the week before. Contracts are negotiable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very true.
If it's in a contract and you don't like it, you don't have to sign it that way. You can say, listen, I don't want to do, I don't want to do an entire year exclusive. Why don't I make one video for you and then we'll go from there. If we both like it, then we'll sign a longer term agreement.
Yeah, I would say, I would say instead of saying something like, don't take the first deal, I'd say don't take the first draft of any deal.
Well, I'm sorry. It's the reason I'm saying that. I'm saying don't take the first deal just because it's there. If it's good, go ahead. All right? But it's possible that the first deal is bad. That's all.
So be critical of things.
Yes.
Just investigate.
Because the problem is that when you're on YouTube, you are independent, okay? Usually. You work for yourself, and companies know that, and they also know that sponsorships are a way to show that you've made it. And they know how exciting that can be, and so oftentimes a company will approach you and kind of give you a crappier deal than you deserve. Which also is something super important, which is know what you're worth and don't be afraid to say no. All right? Because for at least one of my clients, the deal is just not worth it. They get paid more than that by other people, and they know how much their content is worth. And so for them, it's not a good deal. So they just said, no, thanks. And that's fine because they know what they're worth and they're not afraid to walk away. So
I need to be like him.
Yeah, but the point is...
Or her. Or them. I'll just say them.
Yeah.
Just say them.
Be like
I'll
them.
say them.
But the idea is by knowing what you're worth and being able to put your foot down and go, no, thank you. If you just take the first offer or even the second offer or, you negotiate for a while and it's still not where you want it to be, you can always walk away. Somebody else will come along. This is what's the phrase? It's a marathon, not a sprint. Is that it? Yeah.
Yeah. Very good application.
Yeah. So there will be other sponsors down the line. There will be other things coming to you. Just because this person here doesn't want to pay you what you're worth doesn't mean that you're actually not worth as much as you thought you were.
Yeah. Pep talk.
Now, here's the flip side of that.
Yeah, let's go to the flip side. Let's talk about it from the other side.
If you're not undervalued, but if you're underperforming and somebody for some odd reason makes you an offer, that might be the best thing you got coming. That's the flip. Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Whatever it is.
Some companies might be out there thinking quantity over quality.
Oh, right? there are definitely companies out there that are thinking that way.
And they're like, shoot, we're going to get as many people just in case.
Okay, but you really seriously need to watch out for those kind of people because those are the kind of people that are out there destroying the internet. Those are the kind of people that email my blogs like on a daily basis saying, hey, you know what? We'd really like to pay you so much money to let us do a guest post on your blog so that they can shove whatever BS content into the public's face. We get that kind of offer all the time. Like, probably 3 times a week,
your platform.
They want to pay us to put links to their content on our site. And you want to say no to that because it's going to remove the credibility of your channel or your blog or whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah. Jeff?
Do you guys read those emails?
I read them like part way because I get them so often now from being part of the Skeptic Network for so long that they come on a regular basis. So I immediately can tell a real email from somebody that's just trying to, because they say the same sort of similar things. Like they haven't really read your content and they're offering to do a guest post that's like irrelevant sort of to what you do, or they use the word infographic a lot. Like we created this infographic that we really want to, people to see, and you're like,
so you get the feeling that it's just a copy and paste one, right?
Yeah.
Like a copy and paste job, and this is the...
And so, even when they're more creative, you can tell that people are just trying to embed links or embed their product into your website.
Right. So I need to send you guys some emails that I sent out because I am... No, I'm serious. This is a very, very serious thing. Like, you guys know I'm trying to do this program, and I've been trying to partner with different people, and there's people that I really want to do it with, right? Because they have position power that would be astronomical for what I'm trying to do. But, you know, because I don't have a personal relationship with people at that organization, I'm forced to reach out and basically, like, you know, just shoot random emails to people within. Obviously, I'm not sending like 50 to 50 different people, but I'm looking at strategically who to send it to. So if it's like the program guy, whoever. And as I'm typing up these emails, I feel like I'm that guy. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
I feel like I'm that guy.
Are you being honest?
I'm being honest, but this is me feeling like that guy being honest. You know what I'm saying? So I need you guys to look at this.
Me.
Hey.
Because maybe I am, and I just sent them out today. I sent out like 5 different agencies. But I was like, and each one I hand typed. Like, it wasn't even like a copy paste job. Yeah. I'm like, oh man, this is so like, I don't feel comfortable cold calling or cold emailing people. It's weird to me. I think that I'm the type of guy that needs to just walk up into your space and just be like, yo, listen, this is what I want to do. Do you want to do it with me?
Can I tell you something that actually works really well?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Because I've had to do a lot of those cold approaches, okay? And if it goes to the wrong person, a lot of times they'll just delete it.
Yeah.
So what I found is super effective, at least so far. I mean, I haven't been doing this for very long, but so far I have a pretty decent track record going. And one of the things that works really well is find the company on social media, because whoever's running that account is part of the marketing team.
Yeah.
And the marketing people are the people you want to talk to.
Yeah.
At least as far as sponsorship is concerned, because product placement or paying to sponsor content, that's a marketing thing. So if you talk to somebody in the marketing department, like over Facebook message or whatever, just say, hey, I'm interested in speaking to someone on your marketing team about a potential sponsorship type thing. This is my email. Like, can you direct me to the right person?
This is why I do this podcast with you
Just
guys.
stop right there. And you know what? They will get back to you.
Yeah.
And then see what they say.
I didn't even think about going on LinkedIn.
Yeah. Well, LinkedIn is another one. I'm not so great with LinkedIn, but I've had a lot of luck with Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter's really great, and Facebook as well, because whatever conversations you're having there, you're having publicly. And those marketing people their main job is to make their business look good to the public. And so if you have a conversation with a large corporation, we've actually worked on campaigns from our blog years back with companies like Delta Airlines, where we got them to remove certain videos that they were showing that were anti-science on their airplanes by using social media as a platform to go after people, because of that we know that they don't want to look bad to the public.
Right.
And so that is really excellent advice. I don't know so much about putting your email out there on Twitter, but getting them to DM you,
about like
sending them to a contact link or something, because you'll get a bunch of spam if you just throw your email out there.
No, I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. Like, if you have a conversation with somebody on Twitter and then you go to like DM and you give them, or they'll give you like their contact email, or if you talk to them over Facebook message, it's private. So
yeah, good call.
But I've had a lot of luck doing that. Every once in a while, I'll go to Instagram if that's where the company's most active. But I've had a lot of luck with the Facebook people, because Facebook actually grades those companies on how fast they respond to messages.
Yeah.
So they respond pretty quick.
I don't. I will respond if you reach out to my contact link through my website almost immediately, or if you tweet at me, but like, I do not respond quickly to Facebook. I really hate Facebook.
So one thing I want to talk about real quick is the concept of value and like short-term versus long-term.
Okay.
Because something that I've seen a lot of is, look, as we're all, small businesses, some of us are really, really small businesses, So
like no profit.
Yeah, like tiny. So like, I just got my first paid sponsor ever. Okay, I'm going to start making videos for them in a month or two probably. But they're going to send out some product. I'm going to use it in a video, and I'm going to be compensated for that, like in actual dollars that I can use to pay the electric bill. So this is pretty exciting.
Sir.
Congrats. That's so good.
But one of the things I want to talk about is when they throw a number out there.
Time out. Real quick.
Yo.
What type of things are we talking about? Because I might be able to, we might be able to work some things out where I can say, listen, I got this program. Kids need tools. Let's get some tools. You know what I'm saying?
We can talk about this later.
We can talk about that later. Right.
Yeah. Just because this is so new, and because, some of the ink isn't even dry on the paper yet. So I don't want to go airing everybody's business before something has actually happened. Because, a lot of things can happen between now and whenever I get the video out. But,
like being struck by lightning.
Yeah, something
Or being
that
attacked by spiders from the sky.
or a beehive could explode.
It could explode.
Right. But a lot of people, what they
You
want
don't
to
know.
do...
You don't know, Bill. You
It's
don't
my
know.
turn now, Amy. Shush. I'm sorry, that was rude.
It's okay. I'll keep talking.
All right.
You'll have to mute my track.
Well, a lot of the people...
You're
not a lot of
pretty,
people. Some
Bill.
people...
You're
What?
really you're pretty. Okay. I like your beard. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Tell me about sponsorships, baby.
I just completely lost my train of thought. Thank you for that. Right. Okay. So there is part of the problem with obtaining sponsorships is you have to find a company that sees the value in your work. Okay? Now, once you do that, you want to make sure that you provide value for them, because in this sponsorship relationship, everybody has to come out happy. Okay? If the company feels like they're getting ripped off, they're not going to want to continue the relationship with you. If you feel like you're not getting paid enough, you're not going to want to continue the relationship with them, but you're going to find a happy medium somewhere. So what I encourage people to do is not go for like the maximum amount of money right up front, okay? Pick something that you're happy with, but maybe isn't exactly what you'd love to be paid, and just try that. You know, do 1 or 2 pieces of content at that level. Let the company see the value. You know what I mean? Like, let them see what kind of return they're going to get off of your content. And then when you go back to them and say, listen, this is my actual rate, when you go to renegotiate, now you're in a stronger bargaining position. Whereas if you try to push for that number right up front, they'll just say, yeah, you know what? No, thanks.
So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
And maybe this is, do you have any metrics for what a good return and what a bad return, or not so good, let's not say bad, but what a good return and a not so good return would be?
Well, I'm glad you asked. As a ballpark, there's actually, this was going to be my recommendation, but I'm just going to talk about it now.
All right, go ahead.
There's a site called socialbluebook.com. And
Is
what
it
you
like
can
Kelly
do...
Blue Book?
Yeah, but it's for
It's
social
like
media.
cars.
Oh.
But what happens is you can plug in all your social media profiles, and it will look at, okay, how many followers, subscribers, whatever do you have, and how active are they on your account? Like, do you have good engagement with your audience? How often do you post? And then it will tell you, okay, for a dedicated piece of content on this platform, you should be paid roughly this much.
Wow.
And it's a decent starting point. It's not always right. It tends to be, it's good in the middle, okay? If you have a very small presence or a very large one, it's going to be a little off. You know,
Okay.
like, I think the first time I plugged my stuff in there, it was like, you're worth $5.
Aww.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
like,
I get that. I
No.
understand. That's funny. You're worth $5. I think you're worth $10, Bill. But
Thank you.
I mean, for the company who is doing the sponsorship, right? So, like, if you say I should get this much, and they say, okay, we want this much, and that number is significantly different than your number, right? Whose number do you go by when you come back to them? Like, how is it that, and this is just because I don't understand it from the me going first. Usually when we have sponsorships, they give us the money and we go out and make the project happen. So that's been my experience. I've never been in a position where I have to actually turn around, and probably because it's like you said, Amy, we've only dealt with the big sponsors, but they don't say anything about I need X number of sales based on your product placement. So how do we quantify? And I don't have the answer, and I don't know if you have the answer, but this is something that I'm very interested in. How do we quantify that ROI so that we can go back to them with another table and say, listen, this is how many sales you got. Like, I know that we can get metadata that shows clicks, but do those clicks also tell us conversions for the people, for the companies?
With a lot of companies, if the company that you're sponsoring, that is sponsoring you rather, if that company sells things directly from their site, they'll often give you like a code that you can give to your followers.
Right.
Okay.
So, you know, if they go buy something
So they
and
can
use
track
this
it.
code,
Okay.
they know that it
Yeah.
came from you. So they
Oh.
can figure their conversion rate that way.
Oh,
That's
that
how
is
I do
very-
it. That's how I
Okay.
do it when I sponsor other people. Like when
Ah.
I've done it a couple times, well, more than a couple times. I've done it a bunch of times where I will either give product to other podcasts or blogs for them to give away, or I will do that and I will give them a code for them to give their listeners. And that's how I can track whether or not it's worth my time to continue a relationship with that blog or
That
that
is very
podcast
important.
or that organization. So I have a lot of coupon codes that are in my Etsy shop that are active that I've given to specific organizations for them to give to their people, and that tells me exactly how many times it's been used and whether or not I want to continue that relationship.
Yeah.
That is a
So,
good
yeah.
strategy. I like that strategy a lot.
Yeah. But part of the question that you asked, I believe you were saying if you come in at one number and they come in at another, like whose number do you go with? If you come in at a number, right, and they come in at a significantly lower number, you can either try to get them to come up, which it's difficult to do, okay, I'm not going to lie. Or you can start talking about the provisions of the contract, okay? Like if they wanted a testimonial and you're like, well, listen, for that number I can do product placement and I'll make sure that your logo is clear and visible, but I'm not going to talk to the camera for that number. You know, but I will show your
You
product.
don't get no free air. You don't get any airtime with that. And very.
Well, yeah, it'll still be in the video, but I'm not going to stand there and talk about how awesome it is. Instead, I will use it and I'll show it, and people will see it in my video, but for that number, I'm not going to stand there and blab about it. So that's kind of the other tactic that you can use, is if a negotiation is, if you're not finding a meeting place in the middle for money, start looking at the other provisions. Or like if originally the company was going to own the content that you produced, or it was going to appear on their channel, say, well, for this number, I can put it on my channel and I retain copyright. It'll still be about your product, but I own it. Or
Multiple ways to do this.
yeah, or instead of them having license to distribute it for a year, they can have it for 3 months. Or, you know, there are a million different variables that you can tweak to make something work for you. Just because the deal as initially presented doesn't work out doesn't mean you have to stop, and doesn't mean that you can't find something that works for you given that number. It just might not be what they originally had in mind. And I find I get a lot more success when I go in that direction than when I try to get that number to come up. Because the number, you know, that's money going out the door. I mean, think about it. If you are doing something with your business and there's money going out the door, that hurts.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, if they, you know, if you change the terms of the deal, but it's the same money, that actually it tends to make people happier.
Yeah. Because those marketing people are probably given a very specific budget that they have to work in, but they do have leeway with the terms. That makes
Right.
perfect sense.
Yeah. Well, this has been a fascinating conversation.
Very interesting. Very informative. I didn't
Yeah.
think about the so many different ways
Yeah.
that you can obtain a sponsorship. So did we talk about, I guess we kind of did talk about what is the best practice to getting them. You know, I mentioned that I don't know if those are really sponsorships, but more like partnerships. I actually believe more in partnership than sponsorship. I don't know if those are in the same conversation, but I don't believe
I think
in.
it's totally different. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I'm not really a fan of people telling me what to do. I'd rather us have, you know, I'd rather us be able to be both have an equal seat at the table, and we go ahead and, you know, work things out so that we both come out on top the same amount.
Well, ideally, no matter what the relationship is, that's what you should be going for. Because, again,
Yeah.
you want to make that sponsor happy so that they keep sponsoring you.
Yeah.
Right.
And granted, my experience is mostly about content creation because that's what I do and that's what the people who I know do. But it applies to all sorts of things. Like Jeff is producing a TV series and he's finding sponsors to cover the cost of producing and airing that TV series. And meanwhile, Amy is sponsoring organizations by putting product out there.
Yeah, so here, why don't we do a shout out? If you are interested in sponsoring this podcast, we would love to hear from you. So all you have to do is contact us through, Bill, say it.
info@makershustlepodcast.com.
And if you're interested in having me sponsor your podcast or your blog with giveaways of surly-ramics jewelry, feel free to reach out to me at info@surly-ramics.com. Seriously.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a
some
question. Is it a
stuff.
conflict of interest and maybe I don't even have to do this, but it's just a funny thought. Is it a conflict of interest if I have one of my companies sponsor the show?
It's
No.
only a conflict of interest if you were the president of the United States. No, I don't think so. Like,
or I could just turn around and say, "Go out and."
Like, why would you though? Like, why would you?
For it to be a conflict of interest, there has to be a conflict there. So, like, it would be for one reason you want to sponsor the show, and for another reason you don't want to sponsor the show, and you don't disclose that relationship to anyone.
Right. Or
so if you're also on a competing podcast.
Yeah. Or if there's a board of directors, or there was some sort of money laundering going on, but why would you want to sponsor our podcast?
I don't know. It was just a funny thought that I had.
Because technically you already are sponsoring our podcast by being here.
This podcast sponsored by the Animec Project, Surly-Ramics, and One Car Workshop.
Yeah.
All right.
Seriously.
That might be a dope little thing to add to the end of the episode.
We'd like to thank our sponsors, us.
Well, right now we're sponsored directly by our Patreon supporters, which is fantastic.
We are. We love you guys.
All right. Well, I already did my recommendation. It was socialbluebook.com. If you are at all interested, if you make content for a living and you want to see what that content might be worth, you can check that. You can put in your stuff. It's a free service. You get an account there. You put in your account details, and it'll spit back a number. Now, that number is just a starting point, but it's at least something. So it might be interesting to check out. Go check that out.
I don't want to know. I don't want to plug it in and be like, you're worth 75 cents. And like, I just like cry.
I'll plug my information in there. Be like, come on, dude. Let's be honest.
It just pops up the laughing face emoji.
The emoji.
Yeah.
We're like, is this guy serious?
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of emojis, that's a good recommendation for all our Apple listeners out there. There's a new update for the Mac right now for all your tablets and phones, and there's all these new emojis. And they're super awesome and really well rendered. So hat tip to the people over at Apple doing the rendering, because they're beautiful. And there's a black heart now, which is really cool.
Really? And
another fun recommendation, because it's the holidays, and like I said, I'm on a little mini vacation because most of my work is done up until the beginning of the year. So I am going to do some messing around and having fun. And Pokemon Go just had an update with a whole bunch of new Pokemon. So for all those people out there that know that I'm a total nerd and I love that game, and I'm a teenager trapped in a middle-aged woman's body who likes to run around town and play Pokemon, there's an update, and there's limited edition Pikachus with Santa hats that you can catch right now. So get out there and catch your limited edition Pikachu for the holidays, y'all.
All right. My recommendation is very simple. It's very, very, everybody's going to do it. Go and see the new Star Wars movie. I'm actually going to see that tonight.
Rogue One.
Yes, I'm going to see that Rogue One. Wait, I'm going to see that tonight. I've heard some great things about it. I've heard that it's actually better than The Force Awakens, which, you know, it was a good movie, but I didn't.
I heard it's boycotted by a bunch of Trump supporters and men's rights activists.
Because they reshot the video to put some Donald Trump in there. Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah, so that's great.
That's
so you're
funny.
Less likely to be seated next to someone terrible. So definitely go see that movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? If men's rights activists hate something, then it's probably worth checking out.
Yeah, it's sort of a guarantee that it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Right. And then I had one more.
Okay.
It's not out yet, but I want to say it right now because I'm going to forget. Or at least I hope I don't forget. But there's another movie coming out. It's called Hidden Figures. And it has Octavia Spencer, Janelle Monáe, and I can't remember the other girl's name. And I know her name. I don't know why I don't remember her name. But it's about the black mathematicians that were a part of the Apollo project in the 60s and the 70s. And it's a great story. It's an untold true story. And it talks about how, you know, the one lady's math was what allowed John Glenn to do his first orbit around the Earth. And I think that this is a great movie, and I want to put it out there now because if I forget, at least I tried. But it's called Hidden Figures. It comes out in select theaters December 25th, and then it's coming out all over the country on January 6th, I believe.
Nice. I want to see that for sure. That sounds cool.
It's an incredible movie.
Yeah,
the women were the first computers?
Yes, the black computers. Yep.
Technically, women were the first computers because before there were actual computers, women did all the math. Mm-hmm. It was considered women's work at the time, and so they were called computers.
Yep.
Computer used to be a job title.
Yeah. Until the computers took it away.
All right. So, where can everybody find you? You know what? I'm going first.
Ew,
Yeah.
So you did yours. You're right.
Yeah, I'm going first. Here we go. You can find me at One Car Workshop on most social media, or you can go to onecarworkshop.com.
You can find me at Surly Amy on all social media and most of my shops. And if that's too difficult for you, you can go to surly-ramics.com. It's a portal to everything that I do.
All right, you people ready for this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one is a long time coming. If you're looking for me, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at More4, with the F being the number 4.
Boom.
Ooh.
Boom.
Very nice.
All
Easy.
right.
Easy.
See how much easier that is?
Nice.
So much easier.
Love it.
So good.
I'm going to mess that up, though, but it was good. We're going to just record it one time and run that every time.
Yeah. I may have done that before.
Yeah.
Happy holidays to our listeners. Happy holidays. We love you all.
Go out and celebrate Hanukkah.
This song's sponsored
Yeah.
by Surly-ramics. All right.
Sponsored by
I celebrate Kwanzaa.
Hanukkah. All right. I celebrate them all because I'm an atheist.
Nice.
I
So
don't
I do them
celebrate
all.
any of them.
I celebrate every holiday I can get my grubby little hands on. So
I
go
think-
have some fun.
I think what you need to do. This is my recommendation.
You already
Right.
had a recommendation. We're closing out the
No,
show.
I got another one. I don't have kids, but if I was to have kids, I would want to raise my children the right way and get
Okay.
them to be focused on the time of year and the season and the friends and the family and the giving.
Solstice. Yeah.
And what I would do is,
yeah.
this is what I would do. Instead of having a whole bunch of Christmas gifts at one point during the year, I'm going to give you
Okay.
one Christmas gift, or I'm going to give you one gift with a $20 limit every month. And if you want to
That's
get
not
a
confusing.
if you want to get a big gift around Christmas time, then you got to
you trade 'em
save
in.
up. No, you just save up. But
Yeah, that'll work.
That's how we need to be raising our kids, so
Yeah,
that
good
they
luck
don't
with
grow
that.
up.
With gift vouchers.
Yes, with gift voucher. That way,
I will say
they grow
this.
up to appreciate the
You heard
time
it here
and learn the
first,
value
everyone.
of saving.
I will say this is a very commercial time of year. So if you have the opportunity, if you are buying, if you're making your own presents, that's awesome. If you're
Oh,
not
yes,
and
do
you
that.
are buying presents, try to buy from somebody small. Don't
Yeah,
buy from
support
the big
small
guys.
business,
They don't
y'all.
need the help. Find a local
Yeah, we do.
craftsperson who actually makes the
Yeah.
stuff with their hands and buy it from them.
All
Yeah.
year long, you guys. Please
And those are
support
the
us,
things
little
people appreciate more.
And I practice what I preach
surly-ramics.com.
because Amy and Jeff are getting a
surly-ramics.com.
pen made by Pat Lapp, who's just a
I
guy
do
working
love
in his
that.
house. So there you go.
So good. I'm
You
working
can't
on
get
my
any
house.
smaller than
No, he can't get any smaller than that. So that's it for this week. Finally.
That's it.
If you're listening to the show on iTunes, please take a moment to leave us a rating and tell us what you think. We have a lot of great feedback over there. Thank you all so much. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Makers Hustle. If you want to ask a question, give feedback, or suggest a show topic, you can contact us through social media or send an email to info@makershustlepodcast.com. That's also where you can contact us if you want to sponsor the show. Haha. Once again, thank you so much for listening. We love having you here, and while this show might be over,
The hustle never
Wait,
stops.
let me get my Darth Vader on. In the spirit of Star Wars, let's get a Darth Vader on.
Hustle never stops.
How was that?
that's
Was that
awesome.
pretty good?
That's pretty good.
That was pretty good.
We'll see you next
Help
week,
us,
everybody.
Help us, Jeff Juan Kenobi. You're our only hope.
I would be an awesome Jedi. I would want 2 swords, 2 lightsabers.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right, Surly One Kenobi, I think we're done.
Okay.